Look at this venue space: an industrial warehouse, a hotel ballroom, a skyline rooftop, an open field. It photographs well like an absolute dream on Instagram. Everyone loves it. Everyone wants to shoot their weddings, their brand launches, and concerts here. But it is also a lawsuit waiting for a crowd. And as a live production manager, one of my primary jobs isn't just to look at the aesthetics of a building, or isn't just making things look good and sound great. It's protecting the integrity of the production, which includes the client, the crew, and the artist from catastrophic operational failure, right? There's a massive difference between a venue that is production ready and a lawsuit with good aesthetics and good lighting. The problem is non-traditional spaces and poorly managed venues were never engineered to hold a high draw production. And today we're breaking down the 4 massive red flags that separate a safe and scalable production, or a safe and scalable show, from a legal nightmare. We're looking at power, access, structure, and safety. Ask this first question before anyone signs a contract with a venue. The red flag number 1, nobody actually owns the power, right? Nobody knows anything about power. When you walk into a site visit and ask the venue manager, what's your power setup? And they point to a wall socket and say, oh, we have plenty of outlets, or we have plenty of electricity. That is not an answer, that is a warning sign. The most dangerous answer a venue manager can give you when you ask about electricity is, we have plenty of wall outlets. Standard wall sockets are fine for laptop chargers or for, connecting your phone, but they are useless for a professional live production. A real technical site inspection asks 3 specific power questions. Number 1, how many amps available in total? How many phases is the service, or is this a single phase or a dedicated 3-phase power? The third question you're asking is production power isolated from the general house power, or is your audio console sharing a line with the venue's industrial kitchen, the venue's refrigerator, and the venue's HVAC units? And if your audio rig is running on the same power line as every building, appliances, you'll get voltage dropouts, ground arms, and also a complete breakout trip right in the middle of a headline show. And if nobody at the venue can hand you an electrical layout or answer some of the questions that you're asking, and with exact numbers on paper, just assume that they have 0 production power available. You need to then factor in a dedicated diesel generator or a temporary distribution power or a temporary distribution panel and a qualified electrician straight into your line budget before signing with the venue or before solidifying your payment to the venue. And then red flag number 2 is an access route built into the venue, not for foot traffic, but for flight cases. This is where your 6 a.m. loading nightmares are born. A smooth loading keeps your crew fresh and on schedule, right? A bad loading sets off your entire day, and it sets a domino effect that delays your entire production and delays sound check. It pushes all of your timing back and then burns through expensive crew, overtime. And you don't want that. Well, in this part of the world, nobody calculates overtime. But here, that's another video for another day. But never ever eyeball a doorway or hallway. You should always come with a tape measure to every single site visit, every single time. Walk through the exact physical path your equipment will travel through and how they will come into the venue from the loading dock to the stage floor. Then you also have to consider, is the service door wide enough for your widest road case, right? Your flight case. If your flight case is about 80 centimeters wide and the door frame is 75, you already know that you're going to start unboxing your gear on the pavement in the rain. Then you also have to consider, is there a freight elevator? What is the maximum payload capacity? Is it reserved for your team during loading, or are you sharing it with people coming in or with the hotel room, especially if you're working with an hotel or with the hotel room service? Stairs versus ramps. Are there sudden 2-step, staircases along the access path without any ramps? That's another thing to consider, especially in loading. If your crew has to hand carry heavy items, heavy subwoofers, or LED flight cases up the stairs because of a bad access, path, you need to double your crew size and also add 2 hours to your loading because that's an extra inconvenience. You need to also measure that and don't guess it. It's very important. Red flag number 3, flying gear on uncertified structure. There is an image that should actually terrify anyone managing a show. An aluminium truss or a heavy line array hanging over an audience, suspended on roof beams that were built to support nothing heavier than a ceiling fan. That's actually scary. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. In a professional venue, roof beams are stamped with certified safe working load ratings from a structural engineer. You submit a rigging plot, you get it stamped, you get it certified, and fly your gear safely. You don't do this with guesswork. In an improvised or unverified space, like most people do here in this part of the world, if the venue tells you, oh, the last promotion, last event that was done, hung lights up there and it was fine, and it didn't collapse the last time, that is not a structural safety rating unless you see a certified structural engineer's report in writing. Allowing your punch loads on those specific beams, accept it immediately that you cannot fly gear. It's very important to zero your mind that you cannot fly gear, and in this case, ground support your entire rig using self-standing goalposts, trusses, or crank stands, resting solidly on the floor. While you are in the room, also test the natural acoustics. Clap your hands loudly in the center of the space. If you hear a harsh fluttering echo bouncing off glass walls and bare concrete, which is what most people build these days, you know right then you need directional speaker placement or acoustic, draping to save your audio mix. Now let's talk about red flag number 4, which is the exit design. Most of the time, exit design for a warehouse are not necessarily workable for an 800-person crowd. This is the one nobody really talks about or nobody wants to discuss until it ends up on the evening news. Everyone plans where the stage is going to be, where the stage goes. Everyone plans the bar or the vendor spaces. Almost nobody plans how 800 to 1,000 or thousands of people get out of the room in 90 seconds if a generator catches fire or if panic breaks out. Venues will always advertise their maximum capacity or legal maximum capacity when the rooms are 100% empty. So you can't really guess how the room works from their videos. The moment you build an 8x6 meter stage and set up your front of house mixing desk, you position your lighting towers and also set up rigging, set up all of the vendor zones and all of that, you crush the usable floor space. If you stuff 500 people into what is now reduced to a 250 capacity usable footprint, you create dangerous choke points at the exits and even at the different points of entry. Always calculate your usable footprint, verify that the emergency exit doors are unblocked and that they are functional, and ensure your entire production builds never obstructs an emergency escape path. A production-ready venue isn't the one that photographs well or photographs the best on Instagram, although that's important, but it's the one that passes power, access, rigging, and safety checks every single time before anyone signs a contract with the venue. So great live productions isn't built on luck. It's built on thorough site preparation, a proper technical walkthrough, catching the bottlenecks, power gaps, and structural limits before they become expensive problems on show day. I can't count the number of times where people chose aesthetics over infrastructure. Aesthetics gets clicks, infrastructure will save the show. So to make your next site visit effortless, I put together the exact one-page venue site inspection checklist that I use on every walkthrough. It covers every technical question you need to ask about power, about door clearances, load limits, and also about safety. It's completely free, so grab the link in the description below, print this out, and have it handy in your gig bag for your next site visit. Hit the subscribe button for more real production breakdowns. And also, I want to hear from you. Drop your worst site visit horror stories down in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.
Backstage.